Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into something really quite thought-provoking. It's an educational spiritual article called Atlantis May Have Fallen, but its memory lives on. And it's interesting because it's not just facts. It aims to spark emotion, uses some powerful real-life examples, and it's clearly geared towards self-help.
Yeah, and right off the bat, it hits you with this pretty profound question. What if the greatest loss isn't a sunken empire, but forgetting who you truly are? It suggests that mistaking ourselves for just, our body and mind, well, the article argues that hides our soul's eternal legacy, and it calls this legacy Atlantis, but also other names too, like Christos, as Jesus referred to it, or the slain master from Gnostic schools, or even just consciousness in, like modern mysticism. It's all pointing to the same thing, apparently. What really stands out is how the whole message is kind of summarized in that very first paragraph. The author just jumps right in, inviting readers to subscribe, share, and like on YouTube at Atlantean Brotherhood if the message hits home. They even give the hashtags.
Hashtag soul remembering, hashtag Christ within, hashtag awaken Atlantis.
And that summary, it really does set the stage perfectly for what we're doing here today. Our mission, really, is to unpack the core ideas from this article. We want to explore how it connects across different wisdom traditions, and maybe most importantly, understand the practical side. What does remembering our true identity, as the article puts it, actually mean? We want to get to the heart of why this message might matter for you.
Okay, so let's dive right into that central concept. Atlantis as a symbol. The article quotes Grandmaster Waxira, who reminds us that Atlantis is symbolic myth pointing to your forgotten divine essence. So it's not about finding a lost city under the sea.
Exactly.
It's more a metaphor, right, for our inner spiritual condition, something we might have overlooked within ourselves.
Precisely. And the article explains how this inner Atlantis is seen as equivalent to concepts like Christos. Not necessarily the historical figure, but that universal divine spark, that inner awakened state, or like the slain master in Gnosticism, symbolizing that divine part of us that's been, forgotten or suppressed. And it links to consciousness in modern mysticism, too. The main idea is that we tend to identify only with our body and mind, and that's what hides this deeper essence. A bit like the prodigal son forgetting his real home, even though it was always there for him.
Right, and to make this less abstract, they use a really powerful real-life story. It introduces Clara, this very successful executive. On paper, she had it all, but she felt this deep, nagging emptiness inside, despite all the achievements. The article talks about her breakthrough moment when she heard the Brotherhood's teaching. The idea that her true home wasn't her career, but this inner kingdom called Atlantis. And apparently she just burst into tears, a moment of real recognition.
Yeah, and Clara's experience, it perfectly mirrors this ancient Upanishadic truth the article mentions, Tat Tvam Asi, which basically means thou art that. In that moment, she grasped she wasn't just her mind or body, but she was consciousness itself, the living memory of a golden age of unity and divine knowing. It's a huge shift, isn't it? From seeing yourself as temporary to recognizing the eternal within.
It really is. And what's fascinating, and something the article really drives home, is that this isn't just one isolated teaching. You find echoes of this idea woven through scriptures all over the world, popping up in different ways across time and cultures.
That's absolutely true. The article points to several examples, like the Gospel of John, John 1.5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it, which the article interprets as the soul's eternal Christos, that inner light. Then there's the Zohar from Kabbalah talking about the hidden spark inside everyone. And even the Talmud, a key Jewish text, says whoever saves a single life is considered as if they save an entire world, which reflects how each soul contains, the fullness of creation.
Wow.
And the Quran, too. Surah Qaf 50.16, we are closer to him than his jugular vein, pointing to that incredibly close, hidden, ever-present reality.
And it doesn't stop there. The article even brings in science, quoting the quantum physicist Erwin Schrödinger. He famously said, "Consciousness cannot be accounted for in physical terms, for consciousness is absolutely fundamental."
Right, and that scientific perspective, especially Schrödinger saying consciousness is fundamental, it creates this striking parallel. It suggests consciousness isn't just something the brain does, but maybe it's the very fabric of reality, which really backs up Grandmaster Waxira's teaching that Atlantis is not a place lost to geography, but a symbol of the soul's remembrance of unity. It shifts the focus entirely, doesn't it? From searching outside to remembering inside.
Definitely. And they offer another really compelling real-life story. Marcus, a teacher, he was apparently really struggling with burnout, just feeling completely exhausted. The article describes how meditative practices, the kind the Brotherhood offers, helped him reconnect and find his way back.
Yes, and Marcus's story links directly to a promise in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 19. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. Through that kind of stillness practice, Marcus essentially rediscovered his own Christos, that inner calm, that source of energy that external stress couldn't touch. He went back to teaching with renewed energy and compassion. It shows how this isn't just theory, it's a lived experience that can transform your daily life. The article suggests these practices help quiet the mind, get past the noise, and reconnect with that inner stillness.
Okay, so bringing this all together, what does this actually mean for you, listening right now? The article says the Atlantean Brotherhood provides tools to help perceive and consciously merge with this memory of Atlantis, your soul's true home.
Yeah.
It asks you directly, have you ever felt incomplete even when life seems successful, like Clara did?
Yeah.
And maybe those meditative practices Marcus used could be relevant.
And the core message, the really profound takeaway is this. The lost city lives on within you. Every act of kindness you perform, every moment of insight, every expression of love, the article suggests these honor that Atlantean golden age of harmony. It emphasizes that we all carry this legacy, and the idea is to use it to help restore unity, compassion, and wisdom in the world around us. It's about realizing we're not searching for something lost out there,
Right.
but remembering something powerful that's always been right here, inside.
So we've really taken a deep dive into this powerful idea that our true home, our divine essence, it's already within us. It's about remembering, not searching.
Which leads to a really important question for you to think about. In what ways might you already be, maybe unknowingly, honoring this ancient wisdom in your everyday life? And perhaps more importantly, how could consciously recognizing it actually transform your experience and maybe even the world around you?
And just as the source article itself wraps up, if you enjoyed this journey, please subscribe, share, and like. Your support helps us spread wisdom more broadly, creating a more enlightened world that's peaceful, joyful, and abundant for all. YouTube at Atlantean Brotherhood. With that, we'll conclude this deep dive.